In Daredevil, Born Again Episode 3, John Bernthal's Frank Castle, also known as the Punisher, appears to have killed a significant MCU character, but the show may not be telling the whole story. The third episode of Daredevil, Born Again, centers on Hector Ayala's trial, which Matt Murdock successfully ends in his favor. Matt Murdock assists one vigilante in clearing his name in the public eye, and Hector Ayala, also known as the White Tiger, is acquitted against all odds. Sadly, Matt and Hector's triumph is fleeting. In Daredevil, Born Again, Wilson Fisk uses his newly acquired political power to wage war on anyone who dons a mask to combat crime, thereby determining the fate of all New York City vigilantes and superheroes. Fisk is aware that Matt Murdock will continue to fight for justice even after he gives up his Daredevil identity, but he doesn't anticipate that Matt will be as successful at doing so as a typical attorney. Matt finds it difficult to defend Hector Ayala, but he turns the tide of the case when he exposes Ayala as the vigilante White Tiger. Shortly after his acquittal, Hector Ayala dons his White Tiger mask and costume to battle crime once more. But he is immediately killed when a stranger shoots him in the head after intercepting him. Daredevil, Born Again Episode 3 doesn't reveal this person's identity, but one detail gives away who he is. He wears a Punisher skull on his chest. Frank Castle, also known as the Punisher, appears to have returned to kill the White Tiger as of the release of Daredevil, Born Again Episode 3. There is no justification for the Punisher to murder a fellow vigilante. Frank Castle does not target vigilantes who break the law to protect innocent lives. Rather, he only targets criminals who cause harm to others. After declining an offer to work with the CIA, Frank was last seen shooting down a whole criminal organization. He spent 3 seasons of his own show, The Punisher, on Netflix, hunting down genuinely evil people and gangs. Frank Castle is most likely supporting Hector Ayala during his trial, even though there is a remote possibility that the Punisher killed the White Tiger in order to appease his own perverted sense of justice. In the first 3 episodes of Daredevil, Born Again, it is revealed that the most dishonest and impulsive police officers have tattoos of the Punisher's famous skull emblem. The Punisher's skull was intended by Frank Castle to represent justice, but it seems that dishonorable police officers misinterpreted it and turned it into a representation of unbridled power. These dishonest police officers may kill and abuse suspects without following the proper procedures, rather than executing criminals who have gained legal infancy. The enigmatic person who murders the White Tiger in Daredevil, Born Again Episode 3 is probably a Punisher impersonator, or at the very least, an unrelated criminal who was influenced by the original Punisher, given the new meaning of the Punisher emblem. In any case, Hector Ayala's acquittal must have angered whoever killed the White Tiger. Corrupt police officers must have killed Hector Ayala in cold blood as a last resort to get rid of a vigilante and likely send a message while they were at it, since they are unable to imprison him legally. The third episode of Daredevil, Born Again, demonstrates that Wilson and Vanessa Fisk's influence is still present in the criminal underworld of New York. In addition, Wilson Fisk appears to be taking matters into his own hands once more based on his bloodied knuckles. Wilson Fisk, who is clearly upset about Hector Ayala's acquittal, calls B.B. Urich for a statement after the trial, describing the outcome as a miscarriage of justice, and revealing his pledge to put an end to the threat of vigilantism. It may not be a coincidence that White Tiger was murdered that same evening. The 3 most likely suspects in White Tiger's murder at this time are Wilson Fisk, Frank Castle, and the shady police officers who might be seeking retribution for Hector Ayala's acquittal. But there are 2 or more alternatives. Daredevil, Born Again's Muse hasn't made his existence known yet, and he could make a game-changing debut by impersonating the Punisher to murder White Tiger. Although he's behind bars, Benjamin Poindexter could have external connections who keep wreaking havoc while he's unavailable to do so himself.